wonderful job. But our group had lots of ideas and lots of discussion about what they felt was important to them. The one theme that kept coming up was personal responsibility, and that government is not solely responsible for the position that we're in right now. That capitalism and various other things all take, a part in all of that. But that we are very lucky in the way that we are an island community, and that it's really a benefit for us because we're able to reach everyone, we're able to be more collaborative. It's much easier than some of the bigger centers. So we have strength in the fact that we're an island. It doesn't have, it's not a negative point. We felt that the education of our youth for future change is extremely important. That we need to retain our youth here on the island in order to help our island grow and move forward. That examples of that would be things like we're in schools are teaching children from very early ages, like as far as environmental stuff where they're planting trees and taking care of things. So if we build on that sort of idea with our youth, then it will become more of a habit for them to take personal responsibility for the benefit of our communities. Immigration needs to, there needs to be lots of work to continue immigration and for the immigration community to grow, because they bring all kinds of diversity and new ideas, and everybody agreed that that would be a positive thing for the island. Ideas around giving to the community before we give it away. So things like with the energy, where if we had incentive programs where people could use the energy for their home before putting it back out there. If there was recognition put into place, somebody brought up things about recognition awards for leaders. And I know we already have some of those things, like where there's recognition awards, but they're talking about increasing that so that people have it becomes more socially acceptable for people to be making appropriate choices for the community, for them to be using their energy efficiently and growing their own food or things like that. Sort of like the participation theme, when that first came out into the media, participation, it took off. Everybody knows what that means now. There's no mystery to that when we say participation. It was brought up that the arts always seem to come to the end of the list, and it was the last person to speak who brought it up, and how it's very important that the arts are recognized as something that can benefit our society. That we could be using our culture as more of the, somebody said, part of the meal instead of the dessert, to actually make it a benefit to our island way. Some of the discussions that took place were talking about using other island models. We don't have to recreate things. We can learn from other islands and utilize things that have been working well. Somebody talked about the organic farming and how Cuba, is over 90% organic farming. That their education system's fully paid for, and that their medical stuff, they train their doctors, but then they retain them in their own community first before putting them out somewhere. There was discussion about how we don't want to be Cuba, but they have some very good working things right now, and maybe we can incorporate some of those ideas into our own island. And there was talk about more appropriateness as far as the way we do use things. Farming equipment, it has to be bigger and better, but using more energy. Our bus system, we have big buses, but they're half full, that sort of thing. And so maybe we need to be looking at some of those things and using things a little bit more appropriately. So I think that's all of the themes that our group managed to get talk about unless anybody wants to add something.